which
Yeah,
is
divorce kids, what's up?
so.
Make some noise for these divorcees out there.
Ayo, ayo.
There's no
my
such thing as a second chance.
Hello, welcome back to another episode of If You Know, You Know.
If you don't know, we know.
You don't know, we know.
我们知道，对。
Kalau korang tak tahu, kita tahu.
Today we have one special guest, one kind of ass guest.
I wonder who's that?
We have Brandon.
Hi, I'm Brandon, Rain's
And-
friend.
Yes.
Yes, and I'm crowd favorite Clement.
No,
I
he's
host
not.
the IYKYK show, available now on Spotify and on YouTube. Do check it out. Yeah.
I'm Nicole,
I'm Rain.
and today we're gonna dive right into the question for today.
Wait, before we dive in, right, can I just ask what happened to you?
What?
Why are you sitting on a pee pad? Do you have problems like holding it in?
I have many problems
Okay.
that I'm hoping the PPAC can solve.
Right. You know what? I have I'll send you a link for a Shopee link
Right.
for a waterproof mattress protector.
Oh,
Yeah.
I actually already have that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not doing that well though.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get right into it. So today's question is, what did the people who raised me teach me about love? What lessons do I want to keep and what do I want to challenge?
I came from a divorced family, so like it's only my mom that was raising me. So I had a tough time lah, but she definitely taught me a lot. Cause she's always very open with caring and sharing for people outside of like the family, anyone, as long as she interacts with that person.
Wow, I love
Yeah,
that.
so yeah, she definitely taught me that it was definitely tough, but it was definitely tough to learn because I'm a single child, so I don't have
okay.
any siblings to care for.
Can I just say, right? Can I interrupt at this point
No
and then
worries.
just say that Brandon is part of a friend group that I have in Melbourne, and there's this other guy called Jaden, and he treats him like a brother. He treats him like a younger brother, and he's damn cute. It's damn cute to see them like interact. Because
That's
it feels
so
like the age gap
sweet.
is pretty big. How far is the age gap?
It's 7 years, yeah,
Yeah.
7 years, yeah.
But they do not speak like they are 7 years apart.
No, he's pretty mature for his age, I would say. Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah.
But he's really teaching him a lot. I feel like you're
How
teaching
old are
Jaden
you?
a lot.
I'm 26.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was 19 when I first met him. So
that
that's why.
is cute.
This is not grooming.
It isn't.
Nobody said anything.
The way that Brandon just said it, I was 19 when I first met him. Sounded so fucking sus.
I also came from a single parent, raised by my mom, dad not really in the picture. So when it comes to love, I think one thing I've learned is that it's really just acts of service, right? So it was always like we would have an argument or like I cry or I throw a tantrum, right? But then I would never hear a sorry or like a talk that like we are okay. It's always like, she'll cook me something or whatever. So and I think that's how my love language also became acts of service, because that's how I received it growing up as well.
I think it's a very Asian parent thing
Yeah,
to,
like they
to
cook
have, because my
fruits.
parents are the
It is.
exact same.
Yeah.
My parents raised me to be a very, I would say, don't air your dirty laundry out in public kind of person. And in that case, it also spread into love, because if I ever like do a tantrum in public or like in front of my relatives or something, like we will always deal with it after. Like they will always say, okay, you did this wrong. Like you fucked up here. But it's okay, like let's recover from this. Normally it's my dad that would say that. My mom would just scold me. But my dad would say, like just let's get over it. Like, what did we do wrong today? And then like let's not do that again. Like don't fuck up. And I think that was a very wholesome love language, because I never really saw my dad as someone who would say I love you, but he would normally display his love through like teaching me values about life or like sharing his life experiences. And one other huge aspect is driving me around everywhere. Totally unrelated. But yeah, my dad shows his love for me through like picking me up and sending me to places.
My dad's current love language is alcohol. Yeah.
Mine is absence.
Right. Absence makes the something lah.
Something
Distance
stronger lah.
makes
Something
the
something
heart
along those lines.
go.
Y'all go and Google, y'all let me know.
Okay. Okay,
I'm
and
very
Rain.
speechless.
Okay,
Hi.
yes.
I think for the first.
You almost just completely forget your co-host.
No, she said
No, I
Rain.
said and rain.
Oh no! Oh! I thought you
Sure.
were gonna continue.
I was waiting for her. You fuck! Don't fucking try to break us up. Bro.
We're literally coming in between you guys, lah.
Yeah,
alright,
yeah.
Today, so
No, in between you guys.
what?
There seems to be some beef here.
Oh
Somehow.
yeah. Nicole is not a fan.
Yeah.
I hate men.
Yeah.
But in particular, Clement.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey, Rain.
Right.
Hurry up.
So,
Oi!
I'm kidding.
right. So the first couple of years, when I was a child, I feel like I was raised more by my grandma, and she used to be very strict with me.
We are now here. We have switched things up because change. We love it. Anyway, we're here now. That's all that matters.
So my grandma was the one who mainly raised me when I was younger, and then she used to be very strict with me, but
Does she spank you?
The
not
fuck?
that. Thank you, Brandon. So she used to be very strict with me, but she would do all these small things to like basically something like Clement's. So very acts of service based to take care of me, and I was super attached to her. Like literally, right when my parents would come to pick me up in the evening, I would hug the grills of her gate, and I would refuse to let go, and I'll cry, and it was an everyday occurrence.
How old were you when you started like getting a bit more clingy and understood the concept?
Sorry, what?
Like understand the concept of like, oh, they're taking me home. Like I don't want to go home. Like I love my grandma.
Very young.
Ah.
Like 4, 5.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. So like all these small acts of service, I think I learned a lot from her when I was younger. I remember there was this instance that she was sleeping on the floor, right? And she likes to sleep on the floor. She likes to
Oh,
sleep on the
okay.
floor.
Wow, that scared
So
me
she
for a
sleeps
bit.
on the floor with like this mat. And then it was raining, it was very cold. So I was so young. I was like, I think like 5. I ran into her room, then I got her blanket and cover her.
Oh, that's so sweet.
But these are things that I feel like I learned from her.
What is something that your parents taught you about love that you want to challenge or you strongly disagree with or have your own beliefs about?
I don't think there is for me. Like, it's for my mom, I would say she's pretty perfect in all areas.
Aww.
So like,
She's single, by the way.
yeah, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon.
I only have time for my mom, so don't come. No lah, but yeah.
Dude, it's like that Drake song, dude. That
I only love my bed and my
Oh,
mama.
wow.
I'm sorry.
yeah, dude.
Brandon
Yeah.
single. Hit Brandon up.
Yeah, but anyways,
Also,
yeah. So I was
Just
saying,
hit Clement, don't hit him.
so everything I learned from her, and like I'm trying to find a fault with her, like half the time, because like usually when you grow up, you want to like challenge like your
Rebel
parents.
lah.
Yeah, rebel lah. But like it's very difficult because like she cares a lot, and she is very logical in her thinking as well. So I think other than that, maybe the only thing is probably if she didn't have like such a time-consuming job, would be spend more time with me. Yeah. That's it, yeah.
Aw, that's not even a flaw. That's
Brandon
so
single.
cute.
Everyone Brandon single.
Uh,
You're doing very well, dude.
Okay, how about Clement?
My mom's an idiot. I just like to put it out there.
What?
She's so stupid, bro.
Maybe
Like,
don't
I
call
love
her
her to
that.
death. I
Okay,
love her
okay.
to death, right? But she's an idiot. But it's
Okay,
not
like
really
in
her
an
fault.
endearing way lah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not her fault because her upbringing was pretty bad. I'm not gonna get into it because it's not my thing to tell, but it was quite challenging. So she struggles a lot with like dealing with issues, dealing with knowing how to deal with her own emotions, dealing with confrontation, etc., etc. So I would say that she is heavily flawed in how she expresses herself, expresses love as well. So I would say that one thing that I would say is that yes, acts of service is a good way to show affection, but I think another way of love is to be able to be vulnerable. She struggles with that. She's unable to be vulnerable to like accept her flaws, open up really and talk to us like an adult. To challenge that, I would like her to be a little bit more, learn how to be more open and be vulnerable.
Going right into the episode for today, we're going to talk about how divorce has affected these two guys' perception of
Love.
relationship lah. Yeah, and love. For Brandon, was it from when you were younger? Was it always a single mom? Like you didn't know your dad?
Yeah, no. So I knew my dad for like a short period of time. So like they had a divorce after I turned 10, I think. Yeah, so like it's still like a range of like unconscious state, like in my memory lah. I can't really remember the times I spent with my dad. So like it's very difficult to build the relationship that like never happened in a way in my mind. So after the divorce, I was trying to figure out like what divorce is. Like because
Right.
like you're trying to understand like
damn.
why some days you see your dad, then suddenly you don't see your dad for like 5-6 years. Because in my case, he moved to a different country.
Clement, what about you?
I don't remember a time in my life, in my childhood, where things were good. like, I never had any memories of that. When I look back on that whole experience, right, it was just like fighting lah, domestic violence lah. I'll tell you guys one story. So previously, it was just fights and shouting every night, every day. Like things breaking in the house and stuff like that. I remember one day I was going on 7 years old. My dad tells me like, "Hey, we're going out." And I was like, oh shit, yeah, let's go. We're going KYKYK. I asked him like, where we going? They said, go eat. I was like, all right. So my mom was there, like not even acknowledging that I was leaving. We didn't even say bye. So turns out, right, we really go eat lah, but turns out it was a kidnapping. So basically, I got kidnapped
shit.
when I was 6. So basically, for 6 months, I stayed in Boon Lay, which by the way, when you are that young, you have no idea where Boon Lay is, bro. You have no idea how I couldn't see any buildings that I recognized. I couldn't see any road names that I could recognize. I didn't see any landmarks. I was like, I'm in Boon Lay now, right?
Oh,
and for
Lord.
6 months, every day, I didn't see my sister, I didn't see my brother, I didn't see my mom. We didn't have phones back then or internet per se, right? So I didn't know why, and I was afraid to ask my dad, like, yo, where do you are? Like I never got a chance to ask because I was scared, because every time like I just felt this feeling of like, wow, if I ask, I'm gonna get scolded or whatever. In that 6 months I went to school, I was in kindergarten and everything like that. And I remember there was one time we had like a camp. It was a school camp. So there was this like parent volunteer lah. So this parent volunteer like is like the facilitator, so like they help take care of the kids and stuff like that. Then I remember there was this one particular like parent that reminded me a lot about my mom. So in that camp, right, I just spent the whole camp trying to win her affection away from her son. Because I miss my mom so much. And I was like, and it was like I got so sad, dude, when the camp ended, and then I had to like just watch him fetch her own fucking son home, and then I was just like waiting for my grandma. Yeah, I just remembered that. It was quite shag.
Oh, fuck.
It was quite
Just
shag.
broke my
Yeah.
heart.
Yeah, that was it. Hey, why are you crying?
Fuck you!
What's wrong with you? So after 6 months, right, randomly I heard a knock on the door, and I go get the door, right, because my dad's listening to the newspaper, and I'm expecting like a package or a parcel or whatever. I open the door and I see my mom, and it's the first time I've seen her in 6 months. Even though I'm like obviously missed her a lot, and all I really wanted to do was to like hug her, instead what I did was I slammed the door on her. Here's why. Because the minute I saw her, it registered in my head as a 6-year-old. Right? I was like, shit. If they see each other, they're gonna fight, and I don't want to see them fight. That's all I had in my head. So I slammed the door. I ran into my room. And I said, and my dad said, "Who's at the door?" I said, "I don't know."
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So basically, after that, she called the police. The police came, and I went back home to where I grew up, right? And I saw my brother again. I saw my sister again, and then there was a dog. There was a dog, and I was like, oh shit! It was like the super like picturesque, as good as it can be, right? Image of a broken family. But for some reason, I had to go home, back to fucking Boon Lay, right?
Oh, again?
Yeah. So basically, what I did then was that I took my house phone number, because last time no phone, right? I took my the house phone number. So for another like 3 months, right? I stayed in Boon Lay. And every night, me and my sister, right? Because me and my sister are really close. Me and my sister, we would watch. I have this very vivid memory because I had a house phone number, right? We would watch the 7 o'clock show on the phone with each other. Well, turns out, this is what happened. Turns out my mom spent 6 months, right? After recovering from an exorbitant amount of debt. My dad left with a lot of debt. Not just emotional baggage, but actual like monetary debt, right? So she had to start a new career, right? at the same time, she would go to every single kindergarten that she could find within like every day, like she would try and clear at least 3 or 4. At the same time, try and sell insurance. So she would keep going from door to door to door to door, as well as kindergarten to kindergarten to kindergarten to kindergarten, right? With a picture of me saying like, "Hey, have you seen my son? Is my son in your school?" So it took her 6 months, right, before she finally found the one that I was in Boon Lay. Yeah. So I was gone for 6 months. She didn't know where the hell I was. She didn't. Nobody know where I was. They weren't in contact, and the police couldn't do anything because technically it's not final. The divorce wasn't final yet. Custody wasn't final yet. Yeah. So, yeah. And every night, the reason why we got the dog is actually like is because she would cry every night, and my dog would like comfort her. But I genuinely think that like doesn't mean that I'm from and I'm not speaking for you, but doesn't mean I'm from a quote unquote broken family. It doesn't mean that I'm anywhere different from other people because from what I know, and I have very very close friends that have quote unquote unbroken families, normal families, and they are way more chaotic and toxic than,
that's
than
true,
me.
that's
You
true.
know, like I got a buddy. He climbed down his house 31 stories out of the window
Why?
because he just wanted to get away from his parents. He climbed down 31 stories. And I know it sounds like unbelievable, but this fella is not a
Like,
world
he
fella.
climbed down 21 stories of a HDB block with
Yeah,
what?
dude.
How is that even possible?
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah. I mean, we went.
What?
Trust me, I also
You
don't know how,
tried?
but like,
are you friends with Spider-Man?
you might as well be. My point is this, like, doesn't mean you have a broken family, non-broken family. I don't think it's something of a marker of whether you have issues with
Your parents or your relationship with your family.
I agree with Clement. It's gonna affect you early on in your life, but definitely you have the resources to learn, especially if you go out with friends, you go like extended family as well.
Did you ever had like growing up, right? Because your parents divorced when you were 10, right? Growing up, did you ever had like special treatment in the sense where like your teachers would
Push you to one side and talk to you
Oh
and
no
shit
no
like that.
no no.
Never ah?
Yeah,
You had ah?
never had
I
that. Yeah.
kinda I kinda like counseling and everything because apparently I had issues. Yeah, it's
Oh.
like every single time like Kanina
What
like
kind of
they-
issues? Like
No,
behavioral
because-
issues?
Yeah, apparently lah. Yeah lah. Like I never do homework right. Then I will instead of just getting scolded right, I will have to go for an hour-long counseling session about like, oh, why you never do your homework? Is it because things are not okay at home? Is it because your dad like, no motherfucker, I just lazy lah. Like, like bro, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. I hate math. I lazy do. You know, not everything about the fucking broken family. It was so annoying. Like
How did it make you feel like as a child? Like linking
That's-
when people try to link everything back to that.
it definitely made me like feel very singled out. Like, dude, like I'm more than just the fucking kid from a broken family. You know what I mean? Like, yo, chill.
Don't let that define you, lah. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah. Being from a divorced or broken family definitely made me feel a bit singled out because like for some reason everybody knew about it. But unfortunately, I would say now in today's day and age, it feels like it's more common either statistically or maybe like people are just more open about it.
Was there
Did it
any
ever
yeah
worry
like,
you that you might turn out the way that your parents did?
Growing up, my mom always said like, "Oh, don't be like your father. Don't be like your father." So like naturally, yeah, I kind of grow to like be more wary in relationships.
where
in a
in what
way.
sense?
Trying to not repeat the things that my father did, which was show a lack of care. Also like distancing yourself away, because like men, we like to distance ourselves. You know, naturally when you get settled down in a
So right.
relationship, yeah,
He's so right.
and don't lie lah. Lying is just
It's ass, bro.
yeah, it's just gonna keep like snowballing.
Were all these traits something that you carried into your
Previous
relationship?
relationship.
Yeah, so there was a lot of trial and error. Honestly,
Trial and error.
yeah.
Wow, would you call
Cause-
it that?
There were a lot of mistakes that I made in relationships that were very reminiscent of what my father did to my mom.
Okay.
As in like it's
So you're conscious of the thought that you didn't want to.
so the thing is that my mom always reminds me. I'm conscious of it, but at the same time, sometimes I slip up.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm still my father's son. As
Right.
in, it's not an excuse
Yeah.
for me to do it, but like when I was young, I was a little bit rebellious. I didn't really listen to my mom as well. As in, I just put it as a, like afterthought. Then like when I was in a relationship, I slowly grew to learn how important her words are and how important certain things that she told me about my dad to not repeat. The most common one is lying. Lying about where you are, lying about what you're doing, and it always snowballs into a quite a nasty situation in the future when trust is not there. What happened that triggered the divorce was he actually went on a business trip to China with his friend for supposedly like for a investment, starting a new business. He went for that trip and then disappeared for like 6 years.
Wait, what do you mean?
Shag,
Like
bro.
he just never
broke
came back.
broke contact, couldn't contact him. He didn't answer his phone for 6 years. So my mom was just like, what's happening?
How old were you when that happened?
That happened when I was, I think, around 7, 6. Yeah. So like it's literally like he
Wow.
left to go and get milk and then didn't come back, you know.
Yo, women
From China.
Sorry.
women like can't complain if like a guy ghosts them, yeah. This one next level, bro. Like
Oh
the fella
my
actually south to
God.
China, you know.
He goes there for 6 years.
Yeah,
eh.
yeah.
It
Did he
was
come
the
back?
biggest lie for the longest time. Yeah.
Did he come back?
He eventually came back. No, he eventually made contact. But that's after he already found a new wife.
Was there any
And, like,
explanation?
Wait, how to-
He had a whole ass marriage.
Yeah, he had a
Was
whole
there
ass
any
marriage.
explanation? Like what the fuck? No explanation. Like he just
He missed his flight. He was like, fuck.
So like after like there was no explanation for that 6 years, but
right.
afterwards he did say like the issue was because he borrowed money from his parents. My father borrowed money from his parents.
Yep.
And then invested. And then found out that it was a scam. And he couldn't face the fact of going back to his family.
As in, I understand that, but
But
feel
yeah,
like
not
there's still-
justifying.
yeah. There's still a level of accountability that you need to have with the family that you created, and like you have a wife, you have a child. I mean, I
No, but it
understand.
was so awkward, you know. Like when you go to your parents, it's like, hey, you remember that like 200K you lent me? Yeah, I lost it all. It's
no,
then
no,
awkward, yeah.
no. I'm not telling him to tell his parents. I'm telling him to tell his wife and his child.
No, but then if I go back, then I need to go and face
No,
my
so like get a
parents.
burner. At least let them know that you're alive or some sort,
So
right?
much effort.
Yeah, that was the biggest issue actually. My mom didn't know whether he was alive or not.
Shag.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like living like that for years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's shag, dude. Obviously, I'm joking, lah.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
That's a bit of a
course.
pickle, lah. Not gonna lie.
Of course.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
god.
It hit my mom for the longest time. She, I think, only recently got over it after like almost like
Wow.
20
20
years.
years.
So definitely in the relationship, my first 2 relationships, I lied a lot. Because like, I didn't know the gravity of the situation or gravity of like lying, how it affects trust. So yeah, I learned my lesson now. Because one of my relationships, she dumped me because I lied. I would say the lie was related to her parents. I had an ego issue. I couldn't show my true self to my to her parents because like I wasn't in a very good place at the time.
What do you mean by true self? Like,
Like
You
I
shot in
couldn't,
costume or
more of like where I was at because I actually didn't really do well in school at the start, so I had to stop for a bit. I had to stop a couple of years, so I couldn't tell them that I was doing nothing.
How old were
And
you
then-
when this relationship was ongoing?
This was when I was 16 years old. Like I was just putting on a persona every time I meet them, and then my ex-girlfriend then knew.
Like she
Yeah.
couldn't look at you the same way, lah, is it?
Yeah, and I was also lying a lot as well, lah, in like other things. So it's all a build up of like mistrust.
Do you feel like there's been any traits that you've taken from your childhood and brought it with you into adulthood, lah? And your past, current relationships?
well, you know, it's hard for me to really define whether or not anything affected me in how I perceive relationships and love. I did say earlier about like acts of service and stuff like that. That's something I carry on. In terms of in relationships, for example, right? I think I subconsciously, now that I reflect back on it, right, I had a very, very
Big fear of people leaving, right? Because it was something that I was deprived of, right? So when I had that relationship, I was so scared of it ending or whatever that I kind of, like, I think I spoke about this before, but live and breathe for the person, do as much, like do 120%, you know, just for the sake of like
don't leave me, you know, like it was really just like that. And I think that's something I've learned through that relationship about myself because basically after it ended, I had no desire of like uh, getting back together. It was just like a whoa, holy shit, that was me. Like looking back, like how the fuck did I like let myself become until like that? So it took a long time for me just to reflect. I think another thing that affected me is that not really affected me, like it was just a thought that I had was that when I think about relationships and growing up and becoming the man that I want to be, is that I told myself is that I want to be a good dad. I want to be a good dad because I never ever got one. So instead of replacing that, right, I was like, no, I'm gonna be the best fucking dad that I can, right? For some reason, for a weird reason, right, in my sort of image of that happening, right, there's no bitches around, there's no chick, there's no wife. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't know why. But in my head, I was like, yeah, I just want a kid. I'm gonna give that kid the world. You know, that kid's not gonna see a single, you know, mosquito bite. You know, like that kid is gonna get the world, right? And that's what I would say affected me in terms of being a child of divorce and stuff like that. You know, one thing that I was thinking about, right, when you said your mom would compare you to your dad.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude! Wow, that one triggered me because my mom, right, every time I got upset, and this is why, like, I would say I think in Asian households very common lah, where your like extreme emotions are not okay. Like if you cry, right, you get scolded for crying. Like what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? You know, what's wrong with
Yes.
you, Rain? Why are you crying? You know what I mean? Like that was something that is like super in my household. But my mom, I had this signature card that she would play that will make me like, wow, want to really just scratch my fucking eyes out, right? Was like she would say, wow, you're just like your father. Wow,
line.
that line,
That
bro.
fucking
That line
line.
No.
fucking hurt. Like it literally like would affect me so fucking much. And she would just throw it around like nothing. Like I would just be leaving my towel on the floor or something like that. And she'd be just like, hey, pick up a towel. And say, yeah, I'll pick up. It's like, yeah, it's always so messy, always makes so much noise, just like a father like that. I was like, yo, bro, I'm just playing Minecraft, bro. I'm just playing Minecraft. I just got like a diamond pickaxe. I'm chilling, I'm vibing. 2 years ago, when
I actually sat her down and say, hey, stop saying this. And I finally explained to her why, right? It's because you are comparing me to someone who has caused you, my mom, right, witness firsthand so much pain. And you are comparing me to that fucker, right? Like, that is that fucking hurts, right? You're comparing me to the same person that you complain about ruining your life and that you cry about, and also has made like gave me a lot of pain and anguish, right? So don't fucking do that. Like I sat her down as an adult talking to another adult, and that's when she finally stopped. But for years as a kid, I didn't know how to express that emotion to her. I didn't know how to communicate how much it was affecting me. So yeah, that was when only very recently that I told her like, hey, stop us, yeah.
Do you feel like right now as you're like dating around, right? Do you feel like there's anything that you particularly look out for or avoid because of the experience that you've been through?
I had to start at a very young age to be independent. So
Right.
like definitely I look for people who can also be independent. Yeah.
Mm.
So like sometimes a little bit too clingy
Right.
can be an issue, can be a red flag. Yeah.
I think one thing that is a very big fear of mine is I really just I hope that I'm okay from all the trauma that I've been through, because I've been through a lot of shit lah. I hope
Yeah.
that I'm okay. What I mean by that, right, is that I hope that something doesn't just snap one day, right, and I go crazy, because I've been through so much shit, right. But I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I mean, obviously, you know, y'all can argue that I'm not normal, but then
It's
yeah,
kind of true.
yeah. But like, I hope that it doesn't. I hope that it doesn't, like, I'm okay.
You know,
Probably for
that
the
day I
better.
spent like 10 minutes with Clement and then I started crying.
Yes, yeah. Oh my god. Okay, we were just chatting. What the fuck did I say? I was just.
You said something damn sad.
Oh, my mom would pretend like to play, right? She pretend that she died. So.
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's
No.
As
she-
in, why? Why?
because she like. I don't know. We would just be like playing.
What game
on the
is
bed,
this?
and then she pretend like she stopped breathing, and then last time don't know how to check pulse, ma. So we just put our finger there, right? Then she just hold her breath, lor. We try to wake her, like, mommy, don't die. You know, like we were trying to like wake her up and shit. When we started learn how to use phones, right, we would call our grandmother. and my grandmother was in the fucking joke as well. So she'll play along. It's like, huh? Okay, don't do anything. Then I say, Papa, do we call police? How to call police? Is it 999? No, don't call police. Don't call police. Later, your mom will get into trouble. I don't know what the fuck. No, they say, y'all will get into trouble. Because the police will think that you killed your mom. So,
Oh my.
yeah.
Please.
So we would have to like wait for our grandmother to come over, right? And we just be like, oh, how, what do we do? Do we pack clothes for her? I don't know, right? Then finally she wake up like, you know what I mean? You know, dude, there was one time by me and my sister, we stayed up all morning, all night because we wanted to make breakfast for our mom. Then she put
That's
that
quite
shit. It's like, oh
cute.
fuck, I can't wake mom up. She's dead. Shit, bro. I go cut watermelon, cook egg all there. Like, alamak, she die lah. Who's gonna eat all the watermelon? It's
If
just like-
anyone has any therapy to recommend for
Yeah.
Clement, please leave
no,
it in
I'm
the
so
comments
fucking
below.
scared of therapy because of that. Because I have so much fucking like trauma. I was like,
You know, all the
shit.
more you
That'd be
need to
damn
go.
shit to go through. No, I'm fine. I'm a perfectly functioning single young man right now with no issues at all.
He says
I
it
don't
now.
think this episode was painting very well. Like painting you very well as a healthy, no trauma free adult.
Right,
Man.
but you know, like some chicks are fixers. You know, they want to get like a guy to like I
Me.
can help him. can
That
help
was
him.
so me. Okay,
Well,
no,
we've
I
got a
take it
lot
back.
of traumatic
Take it back.
stories today. Yeah.
What is our main takeaway?
You don't need a complete family to find joy in life. I think the amazing thing about life is that you can kind of go out and find what makes you happy. You know, like really, regardless of where you're from or whatever circumstances, there is always a way as long as you continuously try to find it.
I would just say, like, if your family is going through a divorce now and you're one of the children or like the single child, I would just say hang in there. Over time you will grow to learn from other sources, other resources. So like it's your family, your friends. Rely on them if it's a tough situation, or go to therapy. Yeah, it helps.
If you're a kid and your parents are going through divorce, right? Just know this, if you go through that, right? Nothing in your fucking life, right, will feel like a challenge, bro. Legit. You're good. You're good. All these, Kadena, like what my boss will talk with me, I fucking not scared of anything, man. Legit. You go through that, you are fucking solid. And if you are a parent of a child and you are going through a divorce, it's your fucking problem, not your kid's problem. Do not use your kid as a fucking weapon to say, hey, can you tell your dad to do this? Can you tell your mom to do
Oh,
this?
so true,
Don't
so
fucking
true.
do that. Oh my god.
God.
You put through so much stress on your child that doesn't know what to do. I kena a lot of times. I used to have to ask my dad for money. My mom would be like, hey, can you go ask your dad for money and shit like that? Yo, don't fucking do that. If you're a parent, you're getting divorced, it's your fucking problem. Go and consult a therapist or a friend. Don't put it on your kids. That is such a
Oh yeah, no,
Pain
he's
point for me.
so right.
Yeah,
This is the
don't
first time I
fucking-
agree with Clement.
yes. Hey, what the fuck?
And on that note,
And Rain, I think I've definitely exhausted your patience already. So I would just like to say that I'm very proud of that because it took some time.
I know my patience is not exhausted yet. What do you mean?
Oh really? I genuinely thought at one point she was gonna like strangle me.
No. And with that, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Don't have kids.
Okay.
Don't get married.
Don't get married.